Hi everyone, and welcome to another game with VitaLetum, and this is a game I played not too long ago between myself and Rev Flatline, and this is going to be my first video, or actually my second video, first video of me actually playing on Phoenix's channel, and this is going to be a unique opportunity for us to add some diversity to the channel and some new aspects of the popular game Starcraft 2, and bring some games into the esports community. And in this game, I'm playing against a Zerg player and the Terran player. For those of you that don't know what this game is about, the Terran player is basically like a human race. Basically, you have Marines, you have like tank-like units, cars, and whatnot that you can use as you combat against the others. And the Zerg, it's like insects. It's like aliens. And then there's another race that isn't in this game, which is like predators. Or you can even consider them very they're a very religious race. They're very zealous.
Additional supply
and in this game, you'll see that I'm building a supply depot right now. That is what's being under construction right now. And what that means is basically I'm increasing the supply. And that is basically like a housing unit, so I can have a bigger army. Right now I'm building a barracks, which will allow me to build an army. And in this game, the object of this game is to make money, to make more money, to make sure that your money is low, make an army, and then kill your opponent's army, regardless of what race they are. And you want to try and destroy their base. And that doesn't matter in whatever time limit you want to destroy their base, as long as you destroy their base. And that sounds really simple to do, but this game gets really complex, from anywhere from macro management, which is your ability to make and spend money, to micromanagement, how you are able to use your units and what happens with your units, and what you can do with your units. Can you make your units more cost effective with your ability to control them than what they're actually worth on the field? And that's really important, and the ability to do both of them at the same time. Right now I'm collecting Vespian gas, which is that green off to the right. And what that does is that's basically like that's like science points in other games, or that's like oil, where basically it allows me to build more advanced things. Minerals is just things to make basic things. Then we also see right now that my SCV over on the bottom left is going around and scouting around the place. And he is, that SCV is just trying to see what's going on. And he sees that there is a fast hatchery going down, which is an additional base, basically allowing him, he's playing a very macro-orientated style right now, which basically allows him to make as much money as possible, as fast as possible, before any type of units need to be made. And right now I'm sending a couple units out to the front. I want to do a little bit of pressure because I noticed this going on. I'm unsure as to when his spawning pool finishes for the Zerg player, that basically allows him to build his first attacking type units. And actually, kind of a funny thing in this game, typically when a Terran is playing against a Zerg, you want to wall off your ramp. And your ramp is basically the entrance to your base, the main entrance to your base. And I didn't do that. In this game, I actually thought I was playing against a Protoss. I didn't read the loading screen right. So I actually opened completely different than I normally was. So when that scouting SUV saw that Zerg base, I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. And that's when the plan completely changed. Like, I knew that I needed to start putting on some pressure, because typically what you want to do is you want to expand with the Zerg in this matchup. So what I decided to do is I'm adding on some tech labs. That typically means I'm going to start making a unit called the Marauder, which is really, really good at dealing with bigger units, such as which are roaches, which as you can see on the top left, that right now the Zerg player is building a roach warren. And I'm building 2 factories, and I'm going to, basically what I'm going to do right now is a Hellion Marauder all-in. And what an all-in is, basically, is a build in which I am content with staying on the one base that I have and making as many units as possible as fast as I can and hitting as hard as I can as fast as I can at the enemy base. I want to end this game ASAP is basically what I want to do. Because, again, I thought I was playing a different race, and that completely changes how you play the game. And when you mess up something like that, it really deters the feel of the game, and because the openings are so much different, what you start making first. And that's why I decided to do this Hellion Marauder play. Unfortunately, it's a hit or miss. All-ins basically means if you don't win with this push, you are severely behind and you are very likely to lose this game. And if you don't lose this game right away, it's going to be a huge uphill battle to getting back into the game. What's so beautiful with this game of Starcraft is that this game is a game that's quite easy to understand. It's quite easy to understand how things are progressing. And the beautiful thing about that is that it's also extremely hard to master. You can learn this game within a day, no problem. It's pretty easy to understand. You spend money, you make units, you make sure that you have enough housing for your units. You make sure that you take more bases. This is an easy example. However, to do all those things, to be able to move fast enough to do that, to think about what units you have to make to get rid of the units that your opponent has is completely different. Excuse me, sorry about that. And the ability to do that is much harder than people may realize, and that's what makes this game so intriguing to watch. It's so much fun to watch. And right now you see some Hellion pressure. I was able to get rid of a lot of the Zerg's workers, which is called the drone. For Terran, it's called the SCV. And I was able to take out a lot of workers. However, if you take a look at the income tab, he's typically going to be at about the same amount of units or the same amount of workers. Right now, he's just droning up. He knows that he survived against the brunt of the force, and because he survived the brunt of the force. Any follow-up that I do with this all-in, if I don't decide to expand, any type of follow-up is going to be in vain. I'm not going to be able to do a lot of damage, and he knows that. So that's why he's just making workers, and that's putting him further and further ahead of me. And I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. He's doing some counter pressure with some roaches. I did continue to make Marauders, which was a smart choice. This allows me to not die. Usually after this all-in, you are really susceptible to just dying when an all-in fails. And luckily, he didn't do a huge counter push against me after that all-in. Otherwise, I wouldn't have survived. If he just made units instead of just droning after that, he probably would have taken the game. But that would have been called a counter all-in. Which is to, after you hold off an all-in, you do the same thing. Typically you're way ahead so you can make more units and you can just counter all-in and typically you'll win from that point. But it's still an all-in, same thing. If he holds it off, you're extremely weak again. So what he's doing is typically the smarter play. And I'm doing some more pressure again because I killed all of his units, so I was hoping that I would be able to move through and do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, he's gotten to the point where he's really starting to take the lead in the game. He has 10 supply lead, which isn't very far at this point in the game. However, it does start to get further and further and further behind because this pressure that I'm doing, I keep going with it, and it's not going anywhere. I'm not doing damage to him. Sure, I'm killing some of his units, but not nearly enough to compensate for the amount of units that I'm losing when I already have as few units as I did. My stem is about to push, about to finish, which basically makes my bio units, or the Marines and Marauders that I talked about earlier, much more effective. It allows them to do something where I trade 10 or 20 of my health for my units to be more effective, basically to shoot faster, much faster. For the Marauder, it takes 20 health because they have more health, so more punishment for those better units. And Marines, it takes 10 health to use that ability. what's a really nice combo, which I don't believe I got any of this game. I don't understand why I didn't. This was a game that I had taken a break from Starcraft, and so this was more of a warm-up game on Ladder. Ladder being the matchmaking system, which ranks you, puts you on the ranks against other people around the world. And
FCV ready.
it's because I didn't get Medivacs, it made it. I don't think I got Medivacs this game. I believe that it makes my stim units a lot less effective. My Marines and Marauders, because they take damage, and what Medivacs do is they heal. They heal my units, and it's a really nice combination of units. And the fact that I didn't have that really made my units less effective than they could have been.
Add-on complete. Add-on complete.
Moving on, I have taken my natural expansion. That is that second base that is there. And I have Siege Tanks now coming out. Now, Siege Tanks are wonderful units. They're not so much as tanking units. They can't take a lot of damage, but they deal a lot of damage to a lot of units. You know, the side effect of this unit is when they're sieged up, basically they get locked down in one position. They have a long range, but they can do splash damage to your units. So if you have melee units, if your opponent has melee units, and they charge up against like your Marines, you're not only going to kill their melee units, you're also going to kill some of your own units, and you're going to deal damage to some of your own units. So it's really important for positioning, especially with the Terran race. Terran really needs to have a positioned army. That's what makes their army so effective, is the fact that they can use the map, and where other units really can't. I mean, sure, you have the Mutalist for the Zerg player, which you do see a Spire coming out now. He will start making them very shortly. Right now I'm working on Destructible Rocks, which basically are parts of the environment on the map that you can get rid of to get access to an area that sometimes you wouldn't have, or sometimes would take longer to get to if you don't destroy them. And what destroying those rocks are going to do, it's going to allow me to build a command center and easily defend the command center rather than having to walk around those rocks. I can easily just walk through that pathway that I opened up and protect it. Right now I'm moving some all my units. It looks like I'm going to do an attack. This play was a little while ago, so I'm not playing very smartly. I should not be moving my full army around. I should be trying to find out where his army is, and having my fast Hellion units, which are those units in front that you are seeing right now, and just trying to find the army. I should be scouting for his third, which is also what I'm making right now. I'm trying to take a third base right now to see if he had made one. It looks like he is taking a third right now himself, as you can see in the production tab. Mutalists are going to be on the field pretty soon. I don't have a lot of Marines, which Marines have the ability to shoot up in the air. So if I lose these Marines, these Hellions and these Tanks are going to be extremely vulnerable to any type of Mutalist, and I won't be able to defend them off. And now that they're out and they're starting to shoot my units, I can't do anything about it. He has too many Mutalists in comparison to my Marines, so he's just going to take all those out, and my Siege Tanks are all going to die. And now the supply deficit is going to be extremely huge. Taking a 30, almost 40 supply lead. Actually, wow. Yeah, almost a 40 supply lead on me, which puts me in a huge loss there, and I am falling further and further behind in this game. I do have a lot more money banked up than I should have at this time. For a better player and someone at a higher level, typically you will never see those minerals go, which is on the top right. You can see how many minerals I have, how much money I have to spend. You should never go over 500. And as for Vespy and Gas, sometimes you'll see that go over 500 or even higher than that, depending on what type of unit composition, which basically means what units you have for your army, you do. Because I'm doing a Marine tank style and I don't even have medevacs, I should typically have a lot more gas. We do see Mutilus moving in now. He is going to start sniping off some of my tech, which makes my barracks less effective of doing things. And it looks like, no, I'm going to be sending over some SCVs to repair that before it goes away. I have some Marines simming now, trying to defend my base from these Mutilus. Mutilus going through, trying to pick it off, was not able to do significant amount of damage. Those Mutilus are still extremely annoying because it's making me play defensively. I need to put up some turrets now, and turrets are a very good anti-air static defense. And what static defense is basically defense that cannot move. They are static. They have to stay where they are once they are placed. But right now we have some banelings going through. There is a possibility of a baneling buzz from the amount of banelings just being produced right now, which should be really worrisome. I have no scouting information. I have no idea what's going on. And what beautiful burrowed banelings. I had no idea that those were there. And that just completely killed a lot of Marines and a lot of supply, making the deficit even bigger and just really putting me behind in this game. I'm really not teching up. In this game, I really need to be making some Thors, which are extremely effective against killing those Mutilus. And what Thors are is they do splash damage, AoE damage to Mutilus or to air units in general that get really clumped up like they are right now, and that forces them to engage less fairly, or if they don't have proper control of their units, if they're too busy focusing on something else, they can lose all those Mutilus quite quickly. And I made a lot of poor choices so far in this game, and it's showing. I am now down about 60 food, and the deficit is just rising higher and higher. I'm still on only 2 bases. I have 4 command centers, however. 1 construction and 1 moving over to the 3rd, so hopefully I can get a hold of that. It looks like I'm going to be moving out right now. I'm working on 2-2 upgrades. These upgrades make my units much more effective. However, they don't make all my units effective. They only make certain types of units effective. The ones that I'm working up happen to make my Marines and Marauders and Ghosts and Reapers out of the barracks, units out of the barracks, much better. We do see that I'm trying to take my 3rd now, but the Mutilus are working on that base, destroying that base. There's destructible rocks there that I'm trying to work down. I'm trying to save that base. I don't think I'm going to be able to in time. While I'm trying to save that base, I'm trying to do some pressure. I'm trying to make his Mutilus go away from me, but that did not happen. I did end up losing that 3rd base. That just makes me nervous. Now, once again, I am way behind in supply. I was able to kill quite a few of his units, but in reality, he has to have a lot more bases than those 2 bases. I know that he either has a 3rd, a 4th, and it looks like he's building 2 more hatcheries. Those could be macro hatcheries, or he could be taking more mineral bases. I don't have any information on this game, no scouting information, and that really is a scary thought. That's something that you want to have map control in this game. You want to know what's going on, because if you don't know what's going on, that's information you don't have and you can't use against your opponent. So, and that's another reason why I'm sticking on Marine Tank, and Marine Tank just only works so far because it's not a very tech-heavy army. It's not a very effective army. It's a very it's a glass cannon army. It's an army that deals a lot of damage, but takes a lot of damage too. So finally, I'm setting up my 3rd base. I think that it's going to be much safer. I put up a wall with supply depots, and I'm just looking around right now, really trying to make that a very defensive position. I'm moving out again. Another ill-advised attack I'm doing right now. But I know that I have to do something. I know that I'm behind in this game. This game has really taken a turn for the worse. I mean, Red Flatline really has me on the ropes right now. Berserk player. I do siege up. I am ready for any type of engagement, but what he's going to do is he's going to flank me here, and there he goes, coming from the front and the back, can completely killing all my units within seconds. He is only at a 20 food supply lead, but if you look at it, I have next to no minerals left in my bank, while he has 3,000 sitting there. Yes, as I said before, you typically don't want that, but when you have such a lead, it really doesn't matter. And with the Zerg, how the Zerg works, because they're amassing army, and because they can make units so quickly, typically you want to have a little bit more money than the other races do, because you want to be able to when you lose your army, you want to be able to remake it as fast as possible. And that's what he's doing right now, and it's devastating. I'm just really far behind, and I'm just really trying to pull back into the game. So instead of being aggressive, I need to start playing defensively, but I don't think I start doing that for a long while in this game. It doesn't hit my realization yet. It hasn't become an epiphany for me quite yet.
Ready for dust off.
And because of that, I'm just going to keep on staying behind in the game. And yes, we're staying at about the... It's really odd. We're doing trades where he's staying about the same amount ahead of me as he was 10-20 minutes ago, or 10-15 minutes ago in the game. He was ahead of me the exact same amount 10 or 15 minutes ago, which in reality he should be much further ahead. So I know that my aggression is doing something, but it's not doing what it needs to be for me to be back into the game. And what I really feel that I could have done differently in this game is played much more defensively. Let me know what you guys think in the comments later on. We do find that I am seeking up once again, trying to really work down on this 4th base, but once again, these type of pushes aren't doing anything. I'm not making my units more effective by doing pushes that are exact same size. He's just growing in number, and he just took a much larger supply lead than he normally would be. And now I'm much further behind. I have way too many workers on that 3rd base because I can't take a 4th base. And the game is really looking like I'm in a losing position, and while my opponent is in a winning position, a very commanding position, in which he could do next to anything. As long as he does something, he's going to win this game. We do see an Ultralisk cabin going down. The one thing that I do have on me that my opponent doesn't have is I have... Wow, I didn't even realize that. I do have a tech advantage on my opponent. Even though he is up on supply, I guess that is what's keeping me in this game right now, is the fact that I am about to be on 3-3 upgrades, while he will be on 1-1 upgrades, which is a big difference. 2 upgrade difference on my basic units versus his upgrades is just, that's staggering. That's something that shouldn't happen. Even if you're in the lead, this is how you can lose. This is how you can lose, is when you don't have that, if you don't have those upgrades. You're giving your opponent the ability to come back into the game when your opponent has upgrades that you don't have. So even though I'm sticking to this basic unit composition, those upgrades are definitely going to help me stay in this game and give me a chance to get back into this game. As we see, I am starting to catch up in supply a little bit, but he still has a lot more minerals banked up than I do, so he can just as easily make a huge round of units. Because of the macro mechanics that Zerg has, they're able to make, well, there it goes right now, 40 units at once. Well, no, he's only making 4. However, Ultralisk costs about 8 supply. They're really big units. They're the tier 3 units, the highest tier in the game. Actually, there's a tier 4, but only 1 tier 4 unit in the game. But tier 3 is late game units, basically units that you wouldn't be able to get until the very ending portions of the game. I am working on 5 more barracks. I am going to get that 4th base. I want to be able to. I think I flowed my main base over there in order to take it. Yes, I did. Because I don't have the money to spend on making another command center. So because the Terran's buildings can float, I decide to float my command center over there and take that base. We do see Mutalists coming over here, and a huge swarm of units coming over here. He wants to deny this base. If he does deny this base, I will lose the game. There's no chance of me winning this game if I lose that base right now. Right now, I do have units stemming over, trying to save that base. I need to lift up that command center before it loses. He's going to have a nice fungal growth on my units, and that's really does a lot of damage. He hasn't gotten that second fungal growth down, so I was able to keep my units alive, which was really unsuspected. Had I lose those units, I could have just lost everything right there. Once again, this game is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm so far behind, yet I'm just fighting my way to stay in this game. I am really itching my way to really come back, and I don't see me coming back right now. I don't think you guys see me coming back right now. If I didn't know the outcome of this game, I wouldn't. There's no chance. I don't think there's a chance I could come back. I do have medevacs. I actually did not think that I made medevacs, but I didn't make very many of them, which is fine. But again, in this game, medevacs are also the dropships for the Terran army. I should be dropping right now. I should be trying to make the Zerg player focus on other areas than just trying to attack me. I see a huge army getting ready to attack me over there. If he attacked right now, I don't think I could defend it. And I think he waits for a little bit before he attacks me, allowing me to set up more time for me to spread my units. So the Banelings, which completely kill grouped up units because of the acid, basically they blow up, they commit suicide, they're suicide bombers, it sucks, makes a huge mess.
This better be good.
I had to split my units so less units get injured from those suicide bombers, the Banelings. And right now I'm spreading my siege line a little bit to allow more of my siege tanks to live. So, because if you get too close to the siege tanks, the units get too close, and here comes the engagement. A lot of Banelings coming in. There's the Ultralists. They are completely flying through everything right now. Just wonderful siege breakers. That's what the Ultralist is they just take so much damage to kill. And Banelings are all dead now, so now I have an opportunity to kill those Ultralists. What's nice about Ultralists is that they are able to break a siege line. However, the problem with them is when you lose all supporting units for the Ultralists, there's a high chance that you're not going to be able to kill the remaining army. Because now all the focus fire can be on those units. And there I go for a counterattack. There were some burrowed Banelings over there and completely wiped out my counterattack. I am catching up in supply, however. So right now, I just need to defend these Mutalists at the moment, and now I'm back into the game. Everything's getting is really starting to even out on the playing field. I do see that he is on 4 bases and I'm on 4 bases. However, I've been scouted for a long time now, and because I haven't scouted in so long, I really think that it's going to take a while for me to really know if I'm in the game, if I can actually come back at this point. To be honest, I don't know why I stayed in this game. I'm just at this point I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. I don't know where my position is in the game, and I really just want to see if I can do it. So still not scouting is a huge problem of mine. I really need to start scouting. I really need to see what's going on. I need to see what type of tech he has.
Unacceptable landing zone.
And I sent some workers. They are mining right now. I am definitely at the frustrated part of the game, where I think I have completely lost this game. I do send another army going over right now. I am unaware that I have the supply lead. I actually thought for sure that I was behind in this game, and seeing this replay is really an eye-opener in seeing that I am finally back in this game, and those upgrades really did pay off in the long run, and the fact that he had a poor engagement attacking into that siege line without having all of his units go out once, because he had his Zerglings going and his Ultralists going, but his Banelings came in way too late. I am taking that base now. I have my Marines there because I don't want the same thing to happen as before, where a pack of mutalisks just came over there and killed the base, and I wasn't able to do anything about it. So having those units is just a precaution. So even if he goes over there and kills a lot of them, I'll also be able to sandwich his units in there as well. Right now, I'm just really trying to max my army. I don't really want to engage at the moment. I want to wait until everything is completely... I have everything out completely. We do see that there is adrenal glands now coming out from the Zerg player. That makes his Zerglings a lot more effective, and that will definitely make it. So, oh, there's a Mutalisk again. I don't have any turrets over there right now, so he's able to snipe some of my workers at the moment, not allowing me to mine, which that's something that's really important for this time into the game. We do see that he's finally working on +3 armor, and the adrenal glands. Here comes the attack towards my 5th base. These units are going to just roll everything over, and because I don't have, I have to keep that base alive. If I don't have it, I can lose those workers, but if I lose that command center, that will be it. The money that I have is pretty much everything that I'll have. All the money I'm going to have. Those workers at my 4th base, yes, they're getting a little bit more, but just not the amount of money I need to be making at this point in the game. And right now I have to do counter pressure. I do have the commanding supply lead at the moment. I've finally taken advantage and control of this game, and I feel like that I'm in a position where I can attack and take out a base, and that's what needs to happen. I need to take out a base. I'm going to land that now so I can start mining from there again. We're going to be making more units once again. I did not harass all game long, but basically the Zerg player has been able to do whatever he wants for the longest period of time, and that's scary for a Terran player. It's for a Zerg player to do whatever he wants because they can make things at such an alarming rate. If you're not pressuring them and you're playing defensively like that, you're basically saying, hey, you can win the game unless you make mistakes. But if you make too many mistakes, I'm gonna win the game. That's basically what you're saying. But if you're pressuring, that puts everything at a more even base. Because when it comes to making mistakes, small mistakes sure can lose you a game, but more often than not, it's going to be big mistakes that will lose you the game. And small mistakes can turn into big mistakes, but again, if you're not pressuring your opponent, if you are the better player, pressuring the opponent basically means that if you are the better player, you're going to be able to move at a faster rate, you're going to be able to do things that your opponent can't do, and if you can do things that your opponent can't do, if you can move fast enough to spend your money to take bases, to move your army around, and let's say your opponent, it can do all that too, but just not to the effect that you can do that, either what's going to happen is he's going to fall behind in moving his army around, and you're going to be able to kill his army, and he's going to trade armies really cost ineffectively, or what's going to happen is he's going to stop being able to spend money, and he's going to have way too much money, and he's not going to know how to spend it. He doesn't have the stuff to spend everything. And if that happens, well, then he can't make, then he has to put money into things that he wouldn't originally put money into. He would have to take a risky base or make more production that he shouldn't have to make at that point in the game. And that's what's going on right now, is I finally got into that position where I can keep putting on pressure, and he can't do things. His macro is actually doing a lot better than it was before, but he's not making the money that he was before. I took out 2 of his bases, and
Somebody, get me out
now
of this mess.
I have a huge supply lead, on top of the fact that I have a money advantage. I have more money than him, and at this point in the game, I finally came back into this game after being behind for so long. And not to discredit my opponent, it just, he made so many mistakes this game. He basically let me win this game. This was all on him. It was all on him to win this game. All he had to do was play it just very slightly differently than how he played it, and he would have won this game. And again, I'm not discrediting my skill either. I feel like I played this game, though I started this game really poorly after thinking that he was a Protoss player, and I did that all in. I feel like I played okay for the little amount of practice I had up to this point, which is really nice. And now I'm pushing up into his natural expansion. Now I'm starting to work down his natural base, which has a lot of building units there. And I'm going to start pushing into his main. Right now I have contained his main, so he can't get any units to defend his main. And if you lose your main, that's where all your tech is. That's where all your producing structure is. And here it goes. He's going to... Basically, he doesn't understand how he lost this game. And he just made a lot of mistakes. He had, for the longest time, he was behind on upgrades. And he just didn't... He had poor engagements. He didn't expand enough. There was just so many mistakes that if he didn't make one of those, I would have lost the game. That's how far he was. So I guess this is a testament to say that when you get ahead, you want to make sure that you're still expanding. You want to make sure that you're still teching. You don't just build units and expect to win when you get in the lead. You still need to do all the normal things that you would normally do in this game. And I hope people understand that. Anyways, it was nice to talk to you guys for my first game on Phoenix Rising's channel. I hope to cast some more games for you guys in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you check out some of his other content, such as the wrestling and the basketball, which will be coming out quite soon. I believe they're undisputed wrestling. I don't know the names. I'm not a... It should be coming out at the end of the month regardless. It's primarily a video game on wrestling, and it's quite a unique take on it. And go ahead and check that out if you like wrestling. And if you like Starcraft, there will be more in the coming future, and I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.